Have you ever stepped into your kitchen, opened the refrigerator door, and taken a moment to admire all your produce and groceries perfectly chilled, feeling confident everything will last longer that way? Many of us do it daily, believing wholeheartedly that the fridge is the ultimate safeguard for freshness. But what if I told you that the well-intentioned practice of chilling certain foods might actually be stealing their flavor, spoiling their texture, or even reducing their nutrients? And here's something we often don't realize: older generations, our parents and grandparents, didn't refrigerate these foods because they knew from experience that some things thrive better on the counter or in the pantry. Their practical wisdom, passed down through the years, can still guide us today to save money, preserve taste, and even improve digestion. In this video, we'll uncover 10 common foods that, according to long-standing elderly advice, and modern science too, have no business being stuck in your refrigerator. Maybe you've already wondered why your tomatoes taste mealy, why your bread dries out, or why onions sprout prematurely. Together, we'll explore how to store each item properly and discuss simple ways to remember these tips. Grab a cozy seat, maybe a cup of tea. This is meant to be warm conversation, like we're learning from a kindly grandparent who's spent decades perfecting their kitchen knowledge. Because preserving food's flavor and nutrients isn't just about being thrifty, it's about respecting the nourishment that keeps us healthy and strong. If you've ever been surprised by weird textures or flavors after refrigerating certain items, hit that like button and subscribe. Let's grow wiser in our everyday kitchen habits, step by step. Are you someone who's always believed the fridge is the safest place for almost everything? Perhaps you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond and remember how your parents did things differently, storing onions in a basket on the floor or letting bread sit out on the counter. Or you might be younger but hungry to learn some old-fashioned, tried-and-true wisdom that can make your cooking tastier and less wasteful. This video is here for all of you, from retirees wanting to keep groceries fresh on a fixed budget, to busy families hoping to reduce spoilage, to foodies who want maximum flavor from every bite. Storing certain foods in the fridge can degrade them, ironically making them less fresh. That's crucial knowledge for those dealing with conditions like high blood pressure or diabetes, since losing flavor often tempts us to add more salt or sugar. If we keep these items out of the fridge and preserve their natural taste, we might not need extra seasonings or sweeteners. Most importantly, if you love practical, approachable tips that combine science with a dash of grandmotherly advice, you're in the right place. Because sometimes the simplest methods, like room temperature, a paper bag, or a well-placed basket, prove far more effective than any fancy new gadget or advanced fridge setting. Know a friend, neighbor, or grandchild who could use these tips. Share this video and pass on the knowledge. After all, wisdom grows when we spread it around. Let's set the stage. Refrigerators became common in American homes around the 1930s, and from that moment on, many believed chilled food equaled safe food. But older folks never chilled certain items, because over generations, they observed changes in texture, taste, or spoilage when these foods sat in cold, damp conditions. Scientifically, produce and pantry items fall into two groups: those that benefit from cooler temps, like leafy greens or dairy, and those that degrade from them, like bananas or onions. Cold can slow ripening or stifle the natural chemical processes that keep certain foods lively. In some cases, the fridge's moisture fosters mold or kills off flavor compounds, while dryness might do the reverse for other items. For older adults, preserving robust flavor is not just about culinary delight. It's about nutrition. Taste changes can make us less inclined to eat fruits or vegetables if they lose flavor or texture. Also, some folks have sensitive teeth or prefer gentler textures that come from correct storage. Before we start listing foods, let me share a general tip borrowed from older generations. If the item is typically shelf-stable at the grocery store, like an unripe avocado or a bag of onions, it usually can stay at room temperature at home. The fridge is mainly for items that spoil quickly, raw meats, most dairy, or need chilling after opening. Ready to see which items can skip the fridge? Let's dive in. Has the "store it in the fridge, just in case" mindset led you astray before? Let us know in the comments. It's okay, we've all done it. Our first star, Potatoes, baked, mashed, or fried, they're a comfort staple across countless cultures. But keep them in the fridge, and you risk turning them gritty and overly sweet. Why? The fridge's chill converts potato starches into sugar more rapidly. That extra sugar can produce off flavors or even form acrylamide when cooked at high heat, a chemical linked with health concerns. Elders often stored spuds in a cool, dark corner of the pantry or cellar. They'd mention how plastic bags suffocate the potatoes, promoting moisture buildup and mold. Instead, a mesh or paper bag fosters airflow, just like a root cellar environment. Don't put them next to onions, either, as their gases can cause faster spoilage in each other. Once you do cut into a potato, like half a leftover spud, you can refrigerate that piece if you'll use it soon, just be mindful it might darken slightly if not wrapped or submerged. But whole potatoes? Let them breathe at room temperature, or slightly below if you have a spot that's dark and in the 40 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit range. By respecting these older generation tips, your potatoes remain firm, more natural in sweetness, and free of that mealy or black-spotted texture that can ruin your dish. It may seem old school, but little steps like this keep your pantry tidier, your mashed potatoes fluffier, and your dinner time safer from hidden chemical changes. Have a favorite potato dish? Share in the comments, maybe we'll discover new ways to enjoy them once we store them properly. Next up, a fruit that elders and grandkids alike enjoy, tomatoes. If you've ever craved that garden-fresh flavor, vibrant, slightly sweet, bursting with juiciness, refrigeration is your worst enemy. Chilled air disrupts the enzymes responsible for their rich taste, rendering tomatoes mealy and underwhelming. That's why older folks would store tomatoes on the windowsill, letting them ripen gently in the open air. Scientifically, tomatoes develop their peak flavor in warmer temps. Once they're exposed to consistent cold, below about 55 degrees Fahrenheit, their membranes degrade, losing both taste and aroma. Even if you warm them up again, that lost flavor rarely returns. If your tomatoes aren't fully ripe yet, the fridge can halt ripening, leaving them stunted and bland. Instead, keep them on the counter or in a paper bag if you want them to ripen faster. Stem side down helps slow moisture loss. Only if they're fully ripe and you can't use them soon, you can stash them in the fridge briefly, but remember to let them come back to room temperature before serving. Many older individuals recall a time when a tomato could be sliced for a sandwich, the juice nearly dripping, all from simple room temperature storage. This approach preserves natural antioxidants like lycopene, beneficial for heart health. Because as we get older, every bit of nutrition counts, why strip that away for the sake of a bit more fridge space? Trust that old trick, let your tomatoes breathe in the open. Let us know if you prefer your tomatoes in salad, on sandwiches, or in a hearty sauce, and how do you ensure maximum flavor? We'll combine these two, onions and garlic, the bedrock of countless savory dishes. According to time-tested wisdom, both prefer dark, airy places over cold, damp refrigeration. Why? Moist fridge environments quickly lead to mold, mushiness, or sprouting. That pungent onion smell can also invade other foods, from milk to leftover cake, if the onion sits unwrapped. Meanwhile, garlic in the fridge might sprout green shoots or develop a rubbery texture. Classic advice from older folks is to keep them in a mesh or paper bag, allowing airflow and dryness. Some families store them in a basement or cupboard, any spot that's cool and less prone to humidity. Keeping onions away from potatoes is crucial because they release gases that make each other spoil faster. If you do cut into an onion and have leftovers, you can store that piece in the fridge for a few days, just wrap it tightly or use an airtight container to lock the aroma inside. Chopped garlic is similarly safe in the fridge for a short period if you're cooking soon, but whole bulbs? Let them rest at room temp. Onions and garlic bring depth and flavor to a meal, but only when they're crisp, healthy, and free of mold. So skip the fridge for your whole bulbs. That old saying about storing them as nature intended resonates for a reason, it preserves the bite, the aroma, and the culinary magic these staples provide. How do you store your onions and garlic? Basket, net, or do you have a special hack from Grandma's kitchen? Share it below. Let's pause for a real-life story. Meet Martha, 74, who prided herself on a tidy, jam-packed fridge. She believed the colder everything was, the fresher it stayed, so in went her bread, honey, and olive oil. But a few months ago, she started noticing her bread going stale within a day or two, her honey turning thick and grainy, and her olive oil forming white lumps that tasted off. Frustrated, she asked her neighbor, an 85-year-old friend, for advice. Her neighbor chuckled and said, "Martha, dear, we never stuck those in the icebox. Bread belongs in a bread box or the freezer, honey in the cupboard, and olive oil in a dark pantry. You're stealing their natural goodness by chilling them." Intrigued, Martha followed that old-school guidance, reorganizing her fridge. Within a week, her bread stayed soft longer, her honey poured smoothly, and her olive oil poured without lumps. She even saved space in her fridge for items that genuinely needed to be cold, like dairy and leftovers. This shift improved her cooking experiences too. Her morning toast tasted fresher, her tea sweetened easier, and her dressings had consistent flavor. Martha's small change, respecting elderly wisdom, brought back the joy of simpler, tastier living. Martha's story reminds us that we can adopt gentler, more traditional methods that are not only cost-saving but also deliver better flavor, less waste, and more comfort in our day-to-day meals. In honor of Martha's mini lesson, let's delve deeper into 3 everyday staples: bread, honey, and olive oil. They each come alive best when stored outside the fridge. Bread, putting it in the refrigerator triggers a process called retrogradation, making it stale more quickly. Instead, older folks store fresh bread in a bread box or a sealed paper bag at room temperature if they plan to consume it within 2 days. For longer storage, freeze it. That's the real trick. Bread does great in the freezer, but the fridge saps its moisture. Honey, one of nature's oldest sweeteners, honey is antibacterial and can last practically forever at room temp. The fridge encourages crystallization, making it thick, gritty, or nearly solid. Keep honey in a tightly sealed jar in a cool, dry spot, and it remains smooth, pourable, and oh so sweet for months on end. Olive oil, this precious golden green liquid can solidify or form unsightly white lumps if chilled. The condensation can also degrade its taste over time. Historically, grandparents stored olive oil in a dark cabinet, cool, but not cold, so it remains fluid and aromatic. The warmth in your kitchen shouldn't exceed a comfortable range, so no need to panic. Just keep it away from direct heat, like right above the stove. By freeing bread, honey, and olive oil from the fridge, you'll notice tastier toast, easier sweetening for tea, and richer flavor in your dressings and marinades. Which of these 3 do you currently stash in the fridge? Are you willing to try the old-fashioned approach? Let us know. Finally, let's mention avocados, bananas, and uncut melons, 3 fresh favorites that elders often left out on the counter, trusting nature's ripening process. Avocados, refrigerating them stalls ripening, leaving you with rubbery, flavorless fruit. That's why older cooks let them sit in a paper bag with an apple or banana if they want to speed up ripening. Only after they're fully ripe, and you can't eat them immediately, is it okay to chill them for a day or 2. Bananas, another fruit that blackens in the fridge. The cold breaks down their cell walls, turning peels grayish-brown and the flesh starchy. That's why grandparents hung them on banana hooks or kept them on counters, letting them sweeten naturally. If they get too ripe, freeze them, peeled, for smoothies or banana bread. Melons, watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew. If you place them in the fridge uncut, you stop the slow sugar building that intensifies sweetness. As older folks insisted, storing them at room temperature until they smell fragrant yields maximum flavor. Once you cut them, that's the time for refrigeration, wrapped or sealed, so you can enjoy them chilled in fruit salads. These 3 items illustrate how a simple conversation with an older relative about produce can save you from mealy avocados, black bananas, or bland melons. And the best part? Room temperature means you can see them ripen day by day, savoring the moment they're just right. Have you tried letting your melons sit out for maximum sweetness? It's a game changer. Let us know your aha moment below. So there you have it, foods that our parents, grandparents, and sometimes even great-grandparents advised us never to chill, from tomatoes and onions to bread, honey, olive oil, bananas, and more. While modern conveniences can lure us into thinking colder is always safer, that's not necessarily the path to flavorful or nutritious living. As we get older, or if we're caring for an older loved one, it's especially rewarding to adopt these simpler, time-tested storage habits. We preserve more than taste, we honor the tradition that once didn't have all the fancy appliances, yet still served wonderful, fresh meals daily. The deeper lesson here is about respecting our food's natural journey. Certain items thrive at room temperature, building up those sweet juices or maintaining their crispness without the fridge's damp chill. Others absolutely need the cold, like dairy, meats, or certain leftover dishes. Knowing the difference can cut down on food waste, lengthen the shelf life of precious groceries, and keep us all healthier with minimal effort. Perhaps you recognized some old habits you'd forgotten, like a memory of your grandmother's tomatoes lined up on a sunny windowsill. Or maybe you uncovered brand new ways to store your everyday staples. Either way, we hope you see your fridge and pantry from a fresh perspective. If today's video helped you learn something new, please like, subscribe, and consider sharing. It's wonderful how a dash of old wisdom can reclaim flavors, reduce spoilage, and connect us back to the simpler traditions that shaped our families. From my kitchen to yours, happy storing, and even happier eating. Share one piece of kitchen wisdom you learned from an older mentor. Let's keep these age-old tips alive for the next generation.